Oracle has a woman fall, and your flute balls and your captain here are unlettered in their own anarchy. To the horizon line, it would take much more than a lightning stroke to create such a woman. Perhaps you consider yourself an oracle, mouthpiece of the dead, or of some god or other. 30 years now I have labored to dredge the silt from your throat. I am none the wiser. I'm just scaling little ladders with glue bots and bales of Lysol. I crawl like an ant in the morning of the weedy acres of your brow to mend the immense gold plates and clear your eyes. I went down to the St. James Infirmary and I saw my baby there. He was laid out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fair. Let him go, God bless him. Oh, wherever he may be, he can search this whole wide world over, but he'll never find no one like me. Heidi, 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 home. Heidi, 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 home. Heedy, heedy, heedy. He'll never find no one like me. I went down to that St. James Infirmary, and my baby there he lay. He was laid out on a marble table, so I looked and turned away. Oh, what is my baby's chances? I asked old Dr. Sharp. Girl, by 6 o'clock this very evening, he'll be playing that golden harp. Heidi, 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 home. Heidi, 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 home. Heedy, heedy, heedy. He'll never find no one like me.
4 o'clock.
Heidi, 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 home.
Well, good morning, everyone. Well, actually, good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Blake O'Healy. I am the Director of Student Services here at NOCA, and I'd like to welcome everyone to our Prelude session. This is a mandatory session that we're going to record for prosperity. It's also, we also are going to send this out if you need some of the links that we're going to talk about today. So before we go any further, just a couple of housekeeping rules that I want to make sure that we all talk about. I want to make sure that everyone's on mute. So just go ahead and double check right now. Make sure everyone's on mute. Let's stay on mute for the entire presentation. I appreciate that. The second thing, I want to make sure that everyone's faces are visible. So we want to see your faces. We don't want to see your icons. We don't want to see any of that. We want to see your faces. So make sure that you're up and running. Lastly, I just want to make sure that we're going to save the chat for serious questions. So if you have something specific about the presentation, throw it in the chat, but let's use the chat for serious questions. We are going to talk or have a couple special guests today talking to us. But first up is our president and CEO, and that is Mr. Kyle Weedberg. So let's please give a big round NOCA welcome to Mr. Kyle Weedberg.
Hello, everybody. Can everyone hear me? Excellent, excellent. This is a very, very different first day, but it doesn't make it any less. I know I met some of you this morning. I want to welcome you on behalf of the board, the faculty, the staff, the administration, the NOCA alums across 47 years, the support organization, a community that is NOCA. Welcome. Welcome to the 2021 school year. It is fantastic to have each of you here on the campus. We haven't seen most of you since you came and auditioned for us in the spring. And I know that this is maybe not the day you envisioned, but it is certainly the one we envisioned. Having you begin your journey with us over the next 4, 5, or 6 years at NOCA, because I know we have some of our preps and middle school students on here as well. I am presenting to you from my office here on the NOCA campus. When we're back on campus together, we'll be seeing each other, but we'll be seeing each other in the new normal of masks. Only reason I don't have one on now is I'm alone in my office, but anytime I'm with or around people here on the NOCA campus, I have one on. And that'll include when we're on campus together. And we may not be on campus for a little while together. And that's because keeping you and the faculty and everyone associated with NOCA and our families, yours and mine, safe is our top priority. So being apart is a little bit hard, but I want everyone associated with NOCA alive and healthy for years to come, for this year and many more to come. And you got many years here at NOCA. I will tell you that I have never, nor has this campus, ever thought more about a class that was going to start at NOCA than we did this year. You've gotten more thought and discussion than any other class in the 14 years I've been here, which is about a third of the time the school has been here. I want you to know that we see each and every one of you, that we care about each and every one of you, that we know that this is an important year for each and every one of you, and we take that very seriously. I also want to tell you, and I don't know if you know this or have thought about this, but NOCA is not the only school like NOCA in the country. Right? There's arts schools, arts high schools in different parts of the country, and none of them are exactly us, but they do some similar things. And I want each of you to know that you are in the exact same place as many of your national peers. Right? I've had conversations with the people that lead the Baltimore School for the Arts and the Orange County School for the Arts. So from Orange County, California to Baltimore, Maryland, and everything in between. And you are not behind. You are not getting something different than your peers are getting nationally. And in fact, someday when you are in college and you're taking classes with people that went to some of those other schools, this year is going to have more in common than maybe some of the other training you do on campus, because you will have a shared experience with them. You are in the same place other people are nationally. So don't feel like you're doing something that is different than other people across the country. I also understand that this may not be how you pictured your first day at NOCA, right? But you are getting the year that may feel a little bit different, but I will tell you, there is no typical NOCA year, right? Every year at NOCA is a little different. So this one's different in just a couple of different ways than maybe another year would be, right? And you will have more years here at NOCA. And your future years will be different in different ways, right? I want to bring a name into this space, someone that was elemental, one of the original faculty members at NOCA, one of the most important people in the history of this campus, the first chair of the jazz department, Mr. Ellis Marcellus. Mr. Marcellus passed this last spring. We had the privilege of having him on campus for Black History Month back in February for the performance. But the last time he spoke to us as a full campus community was at the graduation speech 3 years ago. And what Mr. Marcellus said 3 years ago was that it may feel like, and he said this to the graduates, but I'm saying it to you, it may feel like you have all the time in the world. It may feel like your window is wide open. And Mr. Marcellus said his window is a little more closed than ours. But he asked, how did you use today? Right? Mr. Marcellus used his days well, many of them well, right? He asked, how did you use your day? You may feel like you have a lot of days, right? But how did you use this one? Because today is the only thing you have. Tomorrow is not ours. We don't have any power over tomorrow. Today is ours. It's the only thing that is ours, right? So his challenge to you is, how are you using the days you've been given, right? You are all just beginning your journey at NOCA. And you may feel your window's wide open and you got plenty of time. I will tell you that in many cases, a journey at NOCA, and I've watched a lot of them, a journey at NOCA often finishes how it starts. right? You start strong, you start focused, you start personal and powerful, and you continue that way through your entire time at NOCA. I know this may feel different than you wanted it to feel, but I'm telling you that you will finish how you start. So start strong. You have every opportunity to start strong right now, this year, and carry that through your time here at NOCA, be it 4, 5, or 6 years. And I don't want you focused on the things that you don't have and the things that you think are missing, that you perceive you're not getting, right? I want you focused on the things you do have. All of you are here for a reason, right? All of you were selected to be here. All of you choose to be here, right? You have talent. You have the opportunity to have this time with this faculty, with this incredible group of people that are on this call. There is no change in this year besides where it's taking place, right? Everything else is the same. You're the same. The faculty is the same. The opportunity is the same. Your classmates are the same. Use those things. We want for you. We desire for you. We still believe in what this year holds for you and what you will bring to this year. NOCA is art, and art is an idea. So NOCA will be what you make of it this year. It'll be what you make of it this year and every year you're at NOCA. You will get out of NOCA what you put into NOCA. You will get out of NOCA what you demand of yourself. Now, every year that I have the privilege of having this conversation with students, and I've already talked today to the seniors and the sophomores and the juniors, every year, NOCA is only 40 weeks long, right? School year is only 40 weeks. You got 40 weeks, or as Mr. Marcellus would tell you, you got 200 days. And that may seem like a long time, but it's not. It's not. It's going to go fast. You are not going to believe how fast this year goes. And so what are you going to do with every one of those days? I am so excited to see and to hear and to experience what you do with your 40 weeks this year. There's incredible stuff inside of each and every one of you. And you now have the time and the space to make whatever you want to have happen with these 40 weeks. And we are excited to do it with you. And I am very excited to meet you in person when that time comes. I got to see some of you coming through and picking up your materials on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but it wasn't enough. I look forward to meeting every one of you, and I look forward to what you're going to do with this year. All right. With that, I'm going to pass it off to the Director of Academic Studio, Dr. Kit Nelson.
Hello, everybody.
I'm on an interview.
Huh?
I'm on an interview.
If you can make sure and mute, then we'll keep on going. So my name is Dr. Kit Nelson. I'm Director of Academics, and I'm going to go through just a couple of things with you today. But first, I want to say how excited I am to have all of you as part of our campus this year, and all that you bring to this wonderful community. Mr. Kohili, could you start my slides? So we're in this wonderful world of this is a school, but this is NOCA. And that means our expectations of you and the work that you bring are really high, but that means that we get to feed off of each other and really use that power of collective growth to make incredible art and to grow academically as well. So as part of that, I'm going to lean on what's called the NOCA DNA. And that's that circle of circles that's on this slide. If you get a chance after this slideshow, please make sure that you go back and look, because we teach around these. We expect growth around these different things. You'll see critique, respect for the artist, technical grounding. So all of those are true this year as every year, but it's thinking about how you grow as an individual, an intellectual, and an artist. But that also means you need to participate fully in all that we do. That also means following NOCA's rules, which we're going to go over some of those today. But really, it's about putting the best you forward, and that means both in virtual and live spaces. So just some general classroom expectations. We're going to take attendance in all classes, and that means you need to be on time and ready to learn. You're going to be counted tardy if you're late for those classes. You'll need a parent or guardian note if you have to be absent, and you'll need to make up that time and work. And you may not receive full credit or your grade can be impacted if you miss too many classes. So just make sure you're present for all of those classes. In the class, we expect you to be professionals. And that's one of the joys of being at NOCA, is that students and faculty, we really work together to make sure that this is a place where everyone has a voice, that everyone can grow. And being professional in both your attitude, your dress, and how you interact with your peers, staff, and faculty are part of that, right? We will treat you as young artists, as the professionals that you're growing to be, and we expect you to do the same with your peers and faculty. So the online school day expectations is start your day ready to learn. And that means being to class on time, but also being emotionally, physically, and, well, those are the two, present in each class. So being on time, but also ready to learn, like ready to really give your all as a part of that. You will need to check in for every class that you're listed in. And for most classes, that means logging into your Google Classroom throughout the day. I've put the link to Google Classroom here, but you should have also received some invitations to classes. It's also in the handout that's in the black folder that you picked up during materials pickup. You also need to check your NOCA email for updates and additional information. You should do that every day. The link is here. It's mail@google.com. Your login and password were also in that black folder. There's also a really handy guide in that folder called the 2020-2021 Start of School. And in that document, there's a lot of kind of step-by-step things that might help with this process. If you get stuck, you're having a hard time getting into classes, call NOCA's front desk, which is on our website. You'll access course content and assignments through Google Classroom, but I think one of the most important things is allowing yourself enough time to do your best work. So if something's due tomorrow, don't start tomorrow, right? Really start days before to give your best to each of the things that you're assigned. Participating fully in class activities and completing those assignments are certainly part of your school day. Make sure that your work is your own, or you're following the rules of collaboration that are instructed by faculty. We do a lot of group work, and that's completely acceptable. But if you're unsure on whether it's a group project or should just be your own work, please reach out to faculty. And finally, please contact your faculty if you have any questions. We don't want you falling behind or feeling like you're lost. Like, your faculty are an incredible resource, and make sure you're reaching out to them if you're not sure. There are lots of ways to get support on this campus. Remember, we're a community, and that means that we support each other. So if you are struggling, we want to make sure that you're doing your best work and that you are your best, which means if you're struggling, you're going to reach out to faculty, which you have that you can do through Classroom, you can do through email. We also have what's called the Student Support Team. And the Student Support Team is there if you're struggling with socio-emotional issues, classroom issues, organizational issues, anything that causes you to not feel like you're doing your very best in your classes. This is a great place to start. Reach out to them and we'll make sure you get the supports you need. That also means that if you're struggling at your sending school, please reach out to us and we will try and help there as well. Another great place is the front desk. The front desk, Miss Yvette is at the front desk. She absolutely loves every single one of you. And she is also a place that you can go to, and she'll make sure that whatever your need is, that you'll get to the right person to help. And that is the front desk at noca.com. And finally, I'm here. I might be the director of Academic Studio, but I am happy to look through transcripts, help you talk through classes at your sending school, just be a general support. So please reach out to me at knelson@noca.com if you need anything. And the next thing I get to do is introduce a new member of our team, and that's Dr. Laura Cornell. She is our mental health clinician, and she comes to us from Children's Bureau, which is one of our partner institutions. And she is a fantastic resource, and I'll let her introduce herself. Thank you, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Cornell, and I met some of you this morning. And for the rest of you, I'm excited to see you. I'm the new mental health clinician and psychologist here at NOCA, and I just want to validate that this is a strange year. Strange for all of us, for you, for me, for adults, kids, everyone. And with school starting, there will be a lot of added pressures and new stresses. And I just want to make sure that you all remember to take the time to take care of yourselves, because you are important, and your mental health is important, and your emotions are important. And so, Mr. Kohili, I have some tips on a slide if you can put those up there. And just these are some tips to remember to take care of yourself. And as much as you can, keep a daily routine with a set time that you wake up, a set time that you go to bed at night, a set time that you study and practice. Also to stay connected with other people, like Dr. Nelson was talking about. Reach out if you need anything, and reach out to each other too, to peers, and talk to people that you're comfortable with about your feelings. And most importantly, be kind to yourselves and to each other. We all deserve a little extra kindness right now. And I am here if you need anything. If we were in person, you would be able to stop by my office and check in or talk through something with me. And I'm looking forward to when things can be that way again. But in this virtual space, the rules have to be a little bit different. If you find yourself needing some extra support and needing someone to talk to, please reach out to somebody that you trust. Maybe your teachers or a caregiver. And you can also reach out to me directly using this email, lcornell@noca.com, to let me know that you want to check in, and I'll work with you and your caregiver to schedule a time for us to talk and have a video conference or phone call. I will say though, please just use this email to reach out for scheduling or to say hi and not for emergencies. And I look forward to getting to know all y'all in the near future, and have a great beginning here at NOCA. Oh, and next I get to introduce Mr. Al Carter. Take it away, Mr. Carter.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to NOCA. My name is Al Carter, and I'm the protocol coordinator at NOCA. You're going to get to know me. I fluctuate and go back and forth between the sides just to watch over you guys. We can go start with the slides. All right, Dr. Nelson mentioned some things that we really need to be concerned about. First of all, your student contract is still in place even at home. You still have those responsibilities. We also require that you attend class. If there's an issue, something wrong with your internet or a computer problem, notify your teacher or give me a call or the IT folks as soon as possible so we can get you back online. If you miss class, you are required to contact your faculty member to make up the work. We're going to have what's called a green sheet where you can fill out to let us know what happened, and the faculty member will let you know what work you need to make up. If you miss 3 days or more, it's just like in a traditional classroom setting. We have to notify your guardian or your parent. If you miss 5 days or more, we have to report it to child welfare and attendance with the state, and you may not receive credit. You may be in danger of not receiving credit for the class. So we want to make sure you come to class on time, and be a strong participant in your academic curriculum. The campus expectations hold true even in the virtual environment. Appropriate dress is extremely important. The world can see you guys. Even though you think you might be at home and it's casual, still we see what's going on. We know what's going on as far as what you're wearing. So make sure that you wear the appropriate clothes. Also, when you're in class, make sure that you have your camera on. I think we lost the slideshow. You need to have your camera on, and also with your microphone. Make sure your microphones are muted in class unless the teacher actually asks you to unmute the microphone, and because you have to be very cautious about ambient sounds and noises in the background. You know, a lot of times we have family members, and sometimes they may use some choice words that you don't want to come across the computer. Also, icons, sounds, and different symbols. Be very cautious with those. Make sure that if you're going to use an icon for your picture or for your email, use your face. We'd love to see you. We want to see you as a part of our class and school environment. I think, Blake, I think I lost did I lose the PowerPoint, y'all? Is it still on the screen?
I'm going to pull it up. This is Dr. Nelson. Give me one moment.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Plagiarism pretty much means using other people's work. That is a violation of the school code. Don't plagiarize other work. If there is a sharing work environment, get with your teachers, and if there's a group project, make sure it is a group project. Don't copy and paste. And that's fine if you're working in a group project. Also, take care of your NOCA issued equipment. You get a laptop. Some of you may have cameras. Be very cautious with it. Don't drop them. Be cautious as far as like drinks and food and stuff like that around it. You don't want to mess the stuff up. Also, during this virtual time, I'm going to have office hours, usually 3 to 4 in the afternoons. If you need me for anything, don't hesitate to connect with me via email or via the Google Meet. I'm here to be here to support and help you guys out. Our next presenter is Mr. Misha Krylov. He's in charge of our IT department. Go ahead and take it, Misha.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Hello, everybody. I'm Misha Krylov, in charge of all things that plug in and make technology go. Chances are right now you are using something that I have touched over the summer to make sure that you are able to see and hear us, which could be as simple as your email, but it could be anything all the way from a hotspot to a laptop computer to even the little label on the computers. There's a lot of things that we have to move to make this stuff work, and it's extremely a lot of crazy fun. And it's only August, and it's only going to get more interesting. So my name is Misha Krylov. I'm head of the IT department. Mr. Kohili or Dr. Nelson, if you could throw up that slide real quick. We also have another member of the NOCA IT team, that is Ashley Rose Butler. She is not here right now. She is actually working from home, taking care of a few important things behind the scenes. But you may notice the little subliminal message at the bottom of the slide that says support@noca.com. Say it with me, support@noca.com. If you have any kind of troubles with anything that is related to NOCA technology, lost your password, the dog ate my computer. If your dog ate your computer, we're going to talk to your dog. Email support@noca.com and we will sort it out one way or the other. That'll automatically make a ticket. You'll get a message and we will sort it out. That is super important. If you hit the next slide, please. The acceptable use policy is a really important piece of contract language that you signed when you went through registration. Some of you may have just hit I accept like you do when you install Snapchat on your new phone. Some of you may have actually read it and taken notes, in which case, hats off, I salute you. But I want you tonight, after this chat, to promise that you're going to go to noca.com, go to Parent and Student Resources, find the AUP, and actually read it. It's got some important language in there on how you need to interact with technology, particularly in this global apocalypse pandemic that we are currently living in. So there's some important stuff there that includes don't cheat, don't plagiarize, don't install stuff you shouldn't. Go through it, be civil. That's what it comes down to, but there's some specific language in there that I want you to read. The second important thing that's in there, the essence, is not to goof off when you should be working. We're all artists, we're all human, we all require certain amounts of goofing off while we create our art, while we do our work. However, that's not for class time, that's not for work time. I know it's fun to wear a silly hat, but do not do it in the middle of class. And thank you all for keeping your microphones muted to maintain this wonderful presentation. And number 3 on the slide, once again, say out loud, say to yourself, I promise I'm going to read the AUP tonight, no lie. And you'll also notice the little support@noca.com subliminal message there in the corner, reminding you that if you have any technology problems, to email support@noca.com. Next slide, if you please. As you may or may not have surveyed, support@noca.com is where you need to go for any technology problem. I mean it for real. There are only 2 of us. There is myself, there's Miss Ashley Rose, but there are about 700 people in the NOCA family today who need our love and support and attention. So if you will be patient, we will be patient. We are all doing our best together, and we will get through this. It is going to be really interesting. Next up, we have our DJ, Mr. Blake Kohili.
Mr.
Blake, are you with us?
Now we hear you.
Hear
Yeah.
you
Are we
now.
not working? Can you hear me now? I don't
You're
know what
emailing
happened. I
support
got
at
bumped off there.
nuka.com.
Sorry.
I believe in you.
I'm back. Oh, thank you, Misha. I appreciate that. So front desk at noka.com. A lot of things that we can do to support you. First of all, if you would like to get a job and you are a minor, you have to get a work permit. This can all be done at the front desk at noka.com. If you want to get a driver's license, you have to have a letter saying that you are still in school, Office of Motor Vehicles registration letter, all can be done at front desk at noka.com. If by chance you change your address or your phone number, we want to know about it so we can contact you, make sure our lines of communication stay open. Do that at front desk at noka.com. If by chance you need to go to the doctor and you get a doctor's note and you need to email that with your attendance documentation, you can do that at front desk as well. We also have an amazing library. It is stocked with incredible amount of things to support your art, whether it be a movie, whether it be a script, whether it be music to an opera, whether it be a cookbook. There's all kinds of books, social media, and even some games in the library, a whole catalog of things for you to check out. Now that you're a NOCA student, you can use all of those resources. Our librarian, Mr. Matt, is happy to engage that and help you with that. His email address is on there, mhasselbrook@noka.com. He's actually going to email everyone this week with the entire catalog, everything that's in the library. So you can start using that library next week. All right, that's all I've got. I want to thank you. I want to make sure that you have what you need to be supportive. Reach out to everyone. Make sure you have what you need. Next, I'd like to introduce to you Miss Laura Naughton, who is our college counselor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. It is so beautiful to meet you and to say hello on this first day at NOCA. So as Mr. Kohili said, I am the college counselor, which means that when you're a senior, I'll be supporting you as you apply to college. But actually that support begins today by supporting you as you enter NOCA. And look, you do not need to think about college today. But what is important is that you spend this year letting yourself learn and grow and change, and that you love yourself along the way. I really want to emphasize that you are not alone. You might be in your house and I'm in mine, but we are still in this together for the long haul. And the whole entire NOCA community is set up to encourage and support you. We already know that you're ultra talented because you're here. And starting on Monday, you get to develop and evolve your talent in the ways that are most meaningful to you. And I really hope that you'll remember that your life path should not, and in fact, it will not look like anybody else's, because none of us live our life according to a formula. You are uniquely you. And I hope that right now, just for a second, you will give each other a nod or a thumbs up if you are willing to show up as entirely you at NOCA, meaning that you're going to share your voice, you're going to share your ideas, and you're going to share your imagination. Do we agree to that? That's what NOCA is about. And I am incredibly happy that I get to spend the next several years being creative with you. So welcome, and I am going to now introduce you to Mr. Silas Cooper, who's the director of all of the arts at NOCA.
Thank you, Ms. Naughton. Good afternoon, everyone. I must tell you how fortunate I feel and how important I take this moment to get to speak with you as you begin your development and your training with us. We saw something in you in auditions last spring, some potential in your art that was special. And you expressed to us that you have enough passion and love for this art to consider it as a career choice. We're all working artists on this campus. And something that makes us unique from the typical high school experience is we at times forget that you're in high school. We see you as young developing artists, and we were in those same shoes at one point in our careers. And artists with more life experience passed on what they had learned to us, and it's our job and our privilege to pay it forward to you. Everyone at NOCA, it has been my experience over the years that I've been there. I've been on the campus for 13 years, and I've been a working actor for 35 years. What's so special about our community is everyone has a respect for the art, for their talent, and a respect for the talent of those around them. And that's what we expect and hope to develop with you, to pay that forward with you as we go through this journey. So I want to share just a couple of things with you that I think will be useful this year, will be useful in your training for as long as you're with us, and I hope useful to you as you go forward in your life as working artists. Typically, I'll tell people looking at colleges, it's not where you go, it's what you make of it. And the same goes for professional jobs. It's not the job, it's what you make of it. Well, this year, let's twist it up a little bit. It's not where we are, it's what we make of it as a community. And I hope what we're going to make of it is one of the most meaningful and memorable years we've ever had in our development, because we all continue to evolve and develop as artists together. So this is the beginning of a collaboration. I hope that we make this a year that we challenge ourselves and challenge those around us to see how much we can discover, how much we can grow, how much you can learn about the people around you and their walk of life and where they've come from. That's what's so magical about the first year at NOCA. You're about to be exposed to so many different folks, and all of you together are going to influence each other's paths and as artists. It makes for something really special on our campus. I hope it's a year where we do the work as we understand it. And by that I mean, you're in a different place now than you were when you auditioned for us last spring. And I can't wait to have a conversation with you a year from now about where you are and what you understand about your training that you didn't know this afternoon. I hope it's a year where you make a point to be right here, right now. Not to spend time worrying about last year, not to spend time worrying about what the people around you might be thinking, not to worry about what next year holds, but be right here, right now. Be in the present. It's essential in your development. I hope it's a year where no one is treated like a jerk, where we all feel secure and safe and supported, safe enough to take risks, safe enough to fail and fail big, because that's where growth lies. A year where we celebrate the growth of those around us. I want you to think of something. It's never about you. It's always about the other person. It's always about the story. It's always about the art. Be curious about others and it will serve you in your development well. And finally, I'm going to ask you to bring 3 things to training every day. An open mind, a brave heart, and a willing spirit. Open-minded enough to know that we're going to discover things this year in training that we don't know and have never considered, because this is the first year we're going to train like this. Open-minded for you because you're about to enter some classes that are going to blow your mind. Brave enough to be vulnerable. Most of the time, high school is about putting on the cover and not letting yourself be discovered. And like Miss Naughton said, we want to bring our authentic selves to the work every day. And that takes courage to be vulnerable. Brave enough to accept critique, because that's essential. Brave enough to listen to others. Brave enough to admit when you make a mistake and do your best to be better. And finally, a willing spirit. Willing to throw yourselves into the work every day, no matter if it's in front of a screen or not. Willing to encourage those around you. Willing to support a classmate who may be having a rough day. And willing to celebrate the work of others. Willing to be curious about them and their story. I'll leave it at that. I hope you have a great weekend, and I can't wait for us all to get started on Monday. If I can do anything for you, you can reach me at scooper@noca.com, and let's have a great year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Just real quick before we leave today, I just want to remind everyone that Academic Studio starts at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. Your first arts block starts at 1:15, and the second arts block starts at 4 o'clock, depending on what class you're assigned to, what level. If you have any questions or needs, please reach out, frontdesk@noca.com. We're here to help you. We want to make sure that you have everything you need. And I want all of you to have a great year. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
See, Silas, we did them in the right order.
That's true. You're right.